Greetings, everyone, and welcome. August the 13th, 2025, 1:30 in the afternoon here in Ukraine. And inside Ukraine today, there are many preparations going on for post-Alaska summit. And yes, this was not by plan. My daughter said, "Dad, take your Alaska shirt to Ukraine with you." And had no idea that that would be unfolding, but looks like it's going to be key. So thanks and big shout out to my daughter for that. Now, I am going to stand completely by the thumbnail today that Ukraine wins in Alaska. They do not even have to show up. They're not showing up. It's going to be a conversation between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. And both sides, Russia and the United States, are already revealing all of their cards, all of their plans. We see what is going to happen. And we know already that Ukraine is not going to give up a square inch and they're going to fight for victory. So I have 4 or 5 things that have unfolded this morning that will confirm Ukrainians are going to come out on the top side of this summit. That's not hopium, that is factual, because it's so easy to see that the Alaska summit is nothing but a sham and a show for Trump and Putin to get together, shake hands, and both stroke each other's egos. So let's jump straight in, and now I will validate why I am saying this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, liking, commenting, like specific comments. And I really appreciate that because I learn from you as well. And you guys are a big blessing. So let's go. We get some clues from the United States prior to Friday from 2 statements. One from Levitt. I'll play that one for you in a moment. But first, Marco Rubio, he was a guest on a radio station, and this was his statement. The meeting between Trump and Putin scheduled for Friday is not a victory for the Kremlin. See, first of all, for him to state that, it's already out there everywhere, especially over here, that this is a big win for Putin. He's heading to Alaska, all the Russian history there, all the Russian symbolism, and he's going right into the backyard of the United States. It's out there, and that's why Rubio's having to respond. And he says it should not be perceived as a concession to Russia. It will be of an introductory nature. Direct quote, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Really? We need an introductory meeting with Vladimir Putin? I thought they're big buddies and everything is wonderful in Wonderland. No, it's not that way. In fact, Carolyn Levitt drops the biggest clue as to what is really happening. Take a listen to this.
I think this is a listening exercise for the president. Look, only one party that's involved in this war is going to be present. And so this is for the president to go and to get, again, a more firm and better understanding of how we can hopefully bring this war to an end.
Okay, so I just have a question for you. Donald Trump is going for a listening exercise? Have you guys ever seen his cabinet meetings or the people sitting around the table with him? All he does is talk. Nobody speaks. And he's going for a listening exercise. Actually, I completely agree with that. Vladimir Putin is going to tell him how things are. But as far as this narrative that we're going to learn about what's happening over there, we're going to gain information. Listen, you have the information. You have the understanding. What you are doing is stalling because you have no solution for this. The war will continue. Ukraine is going to do everything it can to defend its homeland and fight for victory. As you will see in the end of this update, it is good versus evil, and good will win. But as far as all of these other things, they're just charades. Trump going for a listening exercise. Have you not been sending Witkoff over there 5 times for meetings? I thought he's the envoy that's supposed to be the expert on all of this. But now we have to go listen. No, that is so out of character for rhetoric that would come out of DC. It's telling us already there's no solution for this. There's no answer for this. And this is just a stall tactic. I remind you once again, we had the 10-day drop deadline. There's going to be the terrorists. 10 days and it's over. Nothing has happened, as you can see in regard to that. Now, let's go to Kim Jong-un. What is the Russian side of this? Vladimir Putin has been on the phone with Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, Modi from India, all of the BRICS nations like South Africa, Arab nations. And Kim Jong-un, I just want to use his one quote. He said the DPRK will always remain true to the spirit of the treaty between the DPRK and the Russian Federation, and will continue to fully support all measures taken by the Russian leadership. So basically, what Putin has been doing is making sure that his relationships are solid and his partnerships, his strategic agreements, his military alliances are solid in his back pocket before he hops on the airplane and heads to Alaska. Now, what about India? India's the big wild card here because India is the only nation really that Trump singled out as the oil buyer from Russia. He hasn't touched China or other nations with the secondary sanction. India is standing firm, guys. I remind you, India is in BRICS, and I'm learning so much about India, and I have a lot of respect for the Indian people, to be quite honest, and gaining a lot of new subscribers from India. If you're from India, thank you for being here. Big salute to you and your nation. India Ambassador to Russia, Vinay Kumar, is speaking on RT with Sanchez on U.S. pressure. But first, being reported, India does not give up. Russian oil supplies continue despite Trump's threats. Russian oil supplies to India continue despite Donald Trump's threats to impose additional tariffs. It's reported by Bloomberg, and the average volume of maritime deliveries of Russian oil to India over the past 4 weeks was 3.11 million barrels per day, which is only 3% lower than previous figures. But take Bloomberg, set them to the side for a moment. Let's listen to the ambassador to Russia from India. His name is Vinay Kumar.
What would you say about that reaction from both the United States and from India?
Well, Rick, I can talk about India. Our reaction has been very measured. India decides on its trade ties with different countries in its own national interest, just as every other country would do.
Of course.
And in this case of crude imports from Russia, it is something that has brought about stability in global oil market. Government's commitment is to protect the interest of 1.4 billion people of India. So there are many other countries which are trading with Russia, including the countries which have imposed sanctions. And so we do not think that the decision of additional tariff is correct.
It sounds like what you're saying is, and with all due respect, it makes a lot of sense to me. What you're saying is, what we are doing is looking out for the interests of the people of India. We are going to get the best deal possible to serve our people. That's a pretty good answer. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Who's going to argue with that?
Well, that's the reason we think that the U.S. decision is actually unjust.
We believe that the U.S. decision is actually unjust. It's seemingly, he says, even the one U.S. that is applying tariffs and all the pressure still does business with Russia. So you can see that's the Indian ambassador to Russia. So I think that's a pretty good representative viewpoint of India. That's their ambassador. So we shall see what unfolds from that. But a lot of good points are in there from India, protecting their own people, standing for a population of 1.4 billion. And you can't just randomly throw out, well, we're going to tariff this, stop that, do that on the global economic activity, especially of oil and energy. So we shall see what unfolds next. But for me, when you see India speaking the way it is, you see Putin talking with Kim Jong-un and everyone else in preparation for going to Alaska. You listen to the rhetoric coming from the Secretary of State and the spokesman for the President of the United States, like, we're just going to listen. Oh, this is not a victory for Putin. Well, that's what they're hearing. This is easy to understand. But let me now show you why. And if you've made it this far in the video, it's well worth it. This is why Ukraine has already won the summit. This is Vasil Mayuk, the head of the SBU, and he makes it so plain in 30 seconds.
War is good versus evil. Good always triumphs. We get this, and we're the good guys here. So we keep working, doing our part. It's time our country becomes a steel fortress. This means more troops, training, air defense, drones, and robotic systems. Remember, we want no foreign land but won't give up ours.
There you got it. Listen, it's time for us to become a steel fortress. This is about good versus bad, good wins. We will increase our army, our supply, robotics, technology. We do not want anybody's land, but nobody will get our land. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're at. Early afternoon here in Ukraine, August the 13th. We'll keep you posted. A lot unfolding, especially over on that eastern front on Pokrovsk-Dobropilia line. I will keep you updated on that. Be blessed, and we'll be back at you soon.